Victory last time out in the Circuit of the Americas in Texas, we now head to the south of Spain for my favourite track on the calendar, Jerez. But unfortunately this weekend proved almost breaking point for young Pedro. Round 4 here now in Jerez, one of the best tracks on the calendar and a track I was really hoping to go well at. Coming into this weekend, we're here in practice on Friday. It looks like the weather for the weekend is going to be sweet as, so it's really feeling a good race weekend could be upon us here. We're in a great country, great track. Bike actually looks okay here. We don't have any long straights, so any chance of getting blitzed on the straights like we are in the first couple of races of the season should be gone out the window, and we're really good seemingly through the fast corners. So in practice on Friday, P8, less than 4/10 off overall. Very happy once again to get directly to Q2. Now here on Saturday, temperatures slightly higher, which usually isn't a great thing for this KTM, but we are pushing on quite a bit here on our final lap here in Q2. We're guaranteed a top 12 position for the sprint and main race, but nonetheless we are going again for back-to-back pole positions here in Jerez, so it's going to be a real interesting race if we can start from the front, because it's not a long run from turn 1 to the start finish line. So I was really hoping if we could to get a really good start and get up the front. But of course all season long we really have been struggling with our launches. A little bit deep into the final corner, but we veered off, and on the run to the line we drop the rear down and power our way up to our second pole position in a row. We go slightly quicker than we did on Friday, and seemingly most people did go slower overall with the temperature increase on Saturday's qualifying. Now for the sprint, it is critical. 5 red lights, we got to get to turn 1 in a good position. We can't lose 6-7 positions once again. Unfortunately, we're still waiting on some upgrades from KTM. That's 4, 5, 6, 7 bikes. We're down into P8. We're on the outside for turn 1. And there's DJ Antonio. We get a little touch from behind from, I believe, it looked like to be one of the VR46 Ducatis. So, once again, a real difficult start to the sprint. We've shown that we've good pace again here in Jerez, but we're now down in P10, so we're really struggling early on here. We just slide past Bezecchi on the factory Honda, and we're going to go for a real deep line into turn 5 to try and go nicely around the outside and get a cut back. You can see now we're back in behind DJ Antonio on the factory Aprilia. So a lot of work for ourselves here, but we kind of knew really deep down that this would be an issue coming into the sprint, that the race starts have been poor all race long and all season long, unfortunately. So we're now trying to pick way back through. We've gone soft as recommended by the team. That's what we felt was best in the conditions and with the temperatures, and we're looking quite racy again, just trying to keep ourselves in good position. We're on a very good tight line here up the inside of DJ Antonio. We go and up now behind it looks to be Luke Marini on the factory Honda. So again, we're making positions, we're feeling quite good. It was such a shame because I felt like the podium was definitely on in the sprint, and we're not been near the podium really in the sprints all year just because of how bad the starts are. We have a look at Marini into turn 1, but on lap 2 here now we actually get a great run, decide to go to the outside, just release the egg, roll it in hot, and we actually managed to pull off a very tidy move around at the outside and get a great run now on Pecco Bagnaia. And for some reason we're getting a great run off the corner here today, so feeling really good. Thinking to myself, this could be great for tomorrow's race if we can keep this kind of roll speed out of the corner. We do run Pecco a little bit deep, just a little bit of contact there, run him wide, but all's fair in love and war really. So we now fast forward a few laps, we are pulling in the guys in front. It is the 2 Gresini bikes in front, and yeah, we're actually going pretty well in the sprint. It's probably one of the better sprints we've had this season, where we actually had a bit of pace to go forward and put a bit of speed down. So I was really hoping that we could get to the top 3 in enough laps to kind of get there, because it looked like the pace was there. It was a factory Yamaha 1-2, but for the time being now on lap 4 we are just too far back yet really to be challenging the bikes in front, especially the Gresini. I believe Alex Marquez is next up on screen. So one of those sprints where just again, what could have been if we could have got away at the front. To feel like maybe could have won a sprint, not too sure yet, maybe it's too early to say that. We definitely felt like we had the pace. But what you can see now through this long left is look at the front bars, just the handlebars starting to twitch. My front tyre is screaming out, it's absolutely overheating. So unfortunately from my pushing on, it really has just cooked my front tyre and probably really ruined any chance of getting the podium that we'd hoped for. It was a bit of a shame really, because at this point I was feeling like I could just about maybe bridge the gap and get onto fatality of Marquez in P3, and I was hoping I could probably get a podium after taking points off him in Texas, but I'm just, you know, just struggling to get a stop. We've ended up going deep here. We're still not going to give up, we're still going to try, but it's going to be very difficult with a lot of these long hanging corners to really make up anything on the front tire and be able to make any moves. We're a bit wide here in the stadium section. We're really struggling. See, now that's one of the Gresini Ducatis up my inside, I believe it is, Ferdinand Laguerre. Again, one of my biggest adversaries, so we're going to really try and fight back with this guy, but you can see just edge of the tyre, we're losing so much, so unfortunately it does look like the soft is just not an option. But unfortunately, how we've dropped back from the Gresini man, and now Pecco is coming back at us, so just shows, unfortunately, we just shredded the tyre, and now we are going backwards. We just don't have any sort of pace for these guys, so it's a damn shame really, because I felt like just with the pace we were showing, if we could have kept it going, maybe, just maybe, could we have got up and challenged for that podium. And again, if we got to start, I mightn't have had to push that early, and then could have had a different race. So just a few things at the moment. KTM are letting me down. I feel a small bit for, you know, Pedro, but we're still pushing on. It's still going to be a decent result if we can get this final few laps to the line. And we do here now into the last corner. We come on the last lap. We drop right back into the hands of, I believe, Igor is just behind. But thankfully, we do just manage to survive the sprint. So overall, good positives. But once again, just left with a bad taste in my mouth. So Alex Rins 1-2, Fabio Quartararo for Factory Yamaha. Come on, P7, more points dropped to Marc Marquez, which is unfortunate. But we knew coming into the main race, medium front, that was the way to go. And we had pace. If we can get away with the front, definitely a chance of a podium. So once again, pole position here on Sunday. It's going to be a difficult race. It's going to be a long race. We're going to have to manage the rear tyre, and we need to get a good start. And unfortunately, once again, we've already dropped 5 positions, but we're going to be brave into turn 1. We're going to risk a lot right up the inside of Pecco Bagnaia. But up the inside comes Ferdinand Laguerre. So once again, we've dropped to about P6, P5 kind of area. There's definitely 4 guys, but we've run up the inside of Fermin. A little bit of contact, but again, opening lap of the race, you can kind of force your way through. But unfortunately, he flies up the inside to the left-hander, doing some weird body riding position there. But at this point in the race, we know we've made a decent start. We're going to again try what we did to Marini around the outside, and we actually almost get it done. You can see we have a quick look across at him. Unfortunately, he runs us out of the road. We go to the inside, and of course, if it was for me, we're going to leave the brake off. And we actually end up almost running into the back of Marc Marquez, and that leaves Fermin have a look at the inside. We run up onto the curb, and once again, I've dropped behind the other Mercian rider on the grid. So it's a very busy opening lap. We're really trying to push on now. And once again, we're towards the end of the first lap, and we're just trying to get our hooks into the back of Fermin. We run really good into Crivier. If we can get a good run through Ferrari. Bit of a moment there, we're onto the green. Unfortunately, a bit of track extending at about 120 miles an hour. Again, we are pushing this front tyre a bit more support now with the medium tyre. You can see Fermin also has the soft rear tyre on, so there should be no discrepancies in rear tyre today for me, since we're all running the same one even in the sprint, so it should be okay. But again, very late in the brakes into turn 1 at the start now of lap 2, and we're trying everything really to get a bit of a run, bit of a line up, bit of a setup on Fermin to get the position done. We're again looking good here now early in the race, feeling good. Pace is strong, pace of the race is quite fast, but it's not really anything at the moment that's too concerning for me, because I feel like if I can just get a bit of clear air, get 1 or 2 moves done, I'm in the hunt for the race winner for the podium, which is exactly where I want to be. You can see Mark ahead making move. We go deep again. Can we go around the outside? Unfortunately not. They've kind of learned that move in the main race, and now unfortunately for me, we do end up running a touch deep again. That's cost us a run down here, but we do brake really late on Fermin. We go to the inside, we're sideways. There's the smallest of contacts with us. It picks him up, we run him wide again. Probably not the tidiest move, but again, there is a bit of needle there between Fermin Aldeguer and Pedro Acosta, so it's to be expected this season that we will have our run-ins with the Spaniard. Now, of course, we're up behind the 9-time world champion, Marc Marquez. And what can we do now with the current world champion, the championship leader, the guy we beat in Texas and took points back? We're going to really need to start beating this guy if we want any hope of winning this championship this season. And here in Spain, he is in P3 behind 2 Yamahas, which would be very much an unusual result if the Yamahas once again get a 1-2 after their sprint victory on the V4. First win for the V4. We will look into this final corner. We just level him. Just have a quick look across. He does lean on me, but we have the inside. We just kind of leave him out of the way. Now we'll see the power here in a second of this big factory Ducati, all that budget, all that power we comes across our nose. Like, once again, we released the brake up the inside to start the lap 3. This race so far has been all action from my point of view, but I'm really glad. No tyre issues such far, and we're really going pretty well this one. So again, we're in the hunt for the podium. It's exactly where I want to be. For me, Seltz's a little bit of a move into turn 2, and to be fair, I got caught sleeping there. Smobby absolutely just rode underneath me, and then another one as well. Digi Antonio just rides past me, and look, the gap the front have pulled. So straight away at this point in the race, I was thinking to myself, am I in trouble here? And then we go wide, and I was thinking, oh no, is there an issue with the bike? Because we are really dropping back. Like, look the way they're riding away from us, and you can see already the Aprilia's right on me inside. And because of that, we brake very deep in here, and we go just a touch deep. Again, we pull all our time back on the front of this KTM. But I'm just asking myself, what's going on here? Why am I going out of the corners? Why am I going backwards so much? So again, I was thinking to myself, no way do we have another issue with this bike. After only 4 races, we have a good few issues. And into the fast corners, we're still running in so fast, we get right up to the back of Aldeguer in front. But at this point in the race, I was thinking maybe to calm down, maybe it was a bad sector, maybe it was a mistake of me, because we seemed to kind of gain back to the fast stuff. But that was really strange, the fact the way the bike kind of let us down. It was like it was down on power out of the corner. It was really just a strange one. But thankfully, we have settled again. It looks like the issue, if there was an issue, is gone. And now we are flying up the inside again, can we? We can. We release brake once again on for me, and we're back. Everything that has gone on in this lap. We thought we were out for a second with the weird power issue, but no, thankfully, we do manage to get back past Aldeguer. But again, that GP26 flies around the outside. We release the brake, go really deep on the brake. Every lap so far into turn 1, we've gone for a bit of a move. And it's been a very interesting race so far. It's been very action-packed. Unfortunately, into turn 2, touch deep. And thought Aldeguer would slide through there after what he did in the previous lap. But again, looks like we're actually back in the hunt now for the podium. And we're really flying through these high-speed corners. So I was really enjoying this race thus far. But once again, we jump to Pedrosa corner. And whatever issue is, it's back. We have lost all sense of speed. Look at the guys. Look at the speed the guys are passing me at. We're actually like nearly a danger on the track. We end up running wide, trying to kind of figure out what's going on. We've dropped 3-4 positions immediately, and the bike is just not going forward. Now, at the moment, I don't know if it's a tyre. Have I spent my rear tyre already? You can see just out of the corner. Look, I just have absolutely nothing. Pedro Acosta is in deep trouble. Pecco Bagnaia just rides past me, and unfortunately, we had to call it. We had to pull in. We've absolutely once again had another issue. Only 5 laps into this race here in Jerez, the main race, and it's going to be 0 point for Pedro Acosta. Another mechanical, potentially a tyre, but unfortunately we'll never know. Jorge Martin somehow gets to the front of this race. The Yamahas do drop back. Marc Marquez second, which really isn't good for my championship aspirations. He does extend his lead. Martin up to second. We dropped 2 positions down to 6th. Now we're back to nearly 50 points off. So unfortunately, guys, rough episode. Really hard to take that one. A tyre issue in the sprint, and I don't know really what happened in that main race, but overall it's killed us. Hope you have enjoyed. I shall see you back here for another episode in the coming days. Thanks for watching. Slán go fóill Bukili.